Hey everyone, it's February 11th. That means that if today is your birthday, you share it with French imposter and spree killer Jean-Claude Romand. Romand was born in 1954 in a small commune in eastern France. After graduating from high school, he started college but dropped out after just one semester. He then enrolled in a program as a medical student, but in his second year in the program, he skipped a required exam and never actually qualified to become a doctor, but lied to everyone around him about his failure. For the next 18 years, he fooled everyone he knew, from friends to family, fabricating his position as a practitioner of medicine in France. He told them all that he worked as a researcher at the World Health Organization. Romand claimed to study the factors that cause arteries to harden, and that he was involved in public health through his political connections, essentially formulating his status as a fake French Fauci. He just sat in his car all day, every day, and used a free library at the WHO building just across the border in Switzerland. After lying to a woman he was dating about having cancer, he convinced her to marry him in 1980, ultimately having 2 children with her. He would travel the world as part of his research, but really would hang out in a hotel near the airport reading medical journals to find new things to tell everyone that he was up to. Supported by his wife's income and the sale of a property his parents had given him, Romand fooled his relatives into participating in an investment fund that he had set up that was nothing more than a pyramid scheme he was using to cover the costs of his covert life. In October of 1988, his father-in-law asked to cash out of the fund, and Romand went to visit the man to discuss the matter. The man had an accident falling down the stairs, and when paramedics arrived, he managed to utter the words Jean-Claude before lapsing into a coma from which he never recovered, dying a few days later. Investigators believed Romand's claim that he had just fallen on his own, and why wouldn't they believe an esteemed doctor that researches important medical questions? He then set up a fundraiser in his father-in-law's name from which he secretly stole the proceeds. Questions about his work and returns on his supposed investments were now coming more and more frequently, and in January of 1993 it all came to a head when Romand went to the bank and withdrew 2,000 francs. He borrowed a rifle from his father, purchased a silencer, and went home, where he beat his wife to death in their bed with a rolling pin, then slept next to her body for the night. In the morning he woke their children, gave them breakfast, and sat them in front of the TV to watch cartoons all day. When he put them to bed that night, he shot both his 5-year-old son and his 7-year-old daughter in the head. The only people left who he felt could be an issue were his own parents and a woman with whom he had had an affair, who was demanding the return of 90,000 francs she had loaned him. He went to dinner at his parents' home, where he shot them and their dog for good measure. He picked up his mistress and drove her to the woods, where he attempted to strangle her, but failed, and took her home after making her promise not to tell anyone. He drove back to his own home that contained the bodies of his wife and children, set it ablaze, popped a pile of sleeping pills. Firefighters arrived on the scene and extinguished the fire, and he confessed to police after he was rescued. He was convicted of 5 murders in 1996 and sent to prison, where he remained until he was paroled in 2019, moving to a monastery upon his release. If this was your birthday, hope you had a great day. If you know somebody whose birthday it is today, send them this video so they can find out all about their birthday twin. And to Jean-Claude Romand, I have to say, happy birthday, you bastard.